So welcome back again. This is where we stopped yesterday on our Android tutorial for developing floating applications. So let's continue from where we stopped. So right now we're going to start right away to building the application itself. So let's first head back to our build.gradle module, which is inside here id so id let's add in a Kotlin extension to help us call these our strings or IDs without. The reason why I use it because it simplifies calling IDs instead of me defining the IDs all the time and again. I just simply call it from the ID name that I would have given it in the layout and just call it in the Kotlin activity. Then let's also add our Kotlin capped or whatever it is. So this is for chapter. Then down here we shall implement. So right now, since we are calling a project, here we're calling a project which is library, which is a file directory. We have to define this file tree in our applications, which we're going to do it by just simply copying this and placing it here, and then file tree, it's supposed to be capital T, file tree. Then inside the brackets we includes, so we close them, then the pound strife. Okay, yeah, if it is a jar file, no, sorry, key values. Okay, so directory drew, then libs, since our directory is library. Here we go, let's build it, syncing as it syncs. So here we come to our main activity, opening our main activity. So let's wait for it to sync so that we don't disrupt anything on it. Sync was done. So now head to your main activity and remove the set content view, which directs the resource layout to resource, which directs to resource, then to layout, to the layout which is our main activity layout, and remove also these two contexts which is supposed to. So since the main activity is going to be our first activity, every time we click the application it launches, we are going to initialize our floating view from here on this application, so that every time we click on it, it launches direct to the floating view. So here we are going to start by giving it, and so let's start calling the standout library. It's called the standout library, the standout window, which is called, and close. We are supposed to close all windows. When it first opens, it's first going to close all windows that are for the standard library in case there is any windows that's open. Then this context, which is the context for this main activity that we are in, and the app activity. So when it closes, it will launch this app activity or the app window we are going to create, whereby our app window is going to be where we are going to initialize all the other fields of our design or the UI from the layout Java. then Java, since it is a class, then let's create it as a separate activity. So here it's created, fine. Still head back to our code, then Java. So which is one, should only launch one activity at a time. Java class, why do I have an error? Anyway, okay, it's fine. Then we shall also still initialize standout, which will show the window, and this, which is our context. Then opening the app window, slash Java, sorry, it's class.java, okay, class.java, and one, as we said, sorry, this the ID is going to be one. This one is not going to have an ID. The close all shouldn't have an ID. Then the show should have one ID. That means it's supposed to show only one window. Then finish this activity. So when it does these activities, let it close or finish them. Let it finish the activity. So heading back to our app window. So in our app window, we have to define something. That means we are going to define the default. Let's give our class a default window. No, let's give it a class default window. So the default window is one that's going to define the views that are going to be shown in our app activity, or what's going to be shown, simply how the layout is going to be shown on that design. So here is where we're going to initialize all our standard window and its size and so on. So we initialize it by extending. So our default window will extend the standout window with the curly bracket. Then okay, so after this, instead of opening other things, let's just come here and implement this by selecting all and clicking OK. So here it's supposed to get the app name, which is supposed to return your application name, the name of your app that is going to be the floating app, whatever. Let's just call it standout. Then the get icon, which is supposed to return your icon. Oh, I haven't yet made an icon, so return dot the resource folder. So our icon is going to be into the drawable folder, which we are going to slope down to drawable. Then our icon is going to be there in the drawable folder. So let's just simply make a simple icon very fast. So you left click on it, go to new, head to vector assets. That's where we're going to create our icon. Click on the clip art, then select an icon that meets your preference, or the icon that you've liked among these icons. Sorry, mine is taking long because I added in some other icons. Show you later in time. So here we go. Let's pick one. Let's just do Windows. Okay, here we have Windows. So here I'm going to put it as icon, since I've given it name icon the other side so that it matches. Let me make it white, and then there we go. Here it is called the icon. So create attach view. So the create attach view is what is going to attach our design or our view, or the layout that is supposed to run the application. So the create attach view is going to just simply get our so in the create attach view, we are not going to put anything, since we are going to define our create attach view inside our app window. This app window, that's where we're going to define this. So here we go. So we're here. So get params. So this is supposed to define the window size and then the height and the width of the windows. So what we are going to do is we are going to simply let's simply add that and define this area. So var, which is going to be mutable. Oh come on, mutable call or whatever it is. So resource, which is going to be our resource folder, resources that's supposed to get dimensions, which is r dot dimensions width, which we have not yet defined, width dot to int. Same thing we're going to do with height. So here we're going to have resources that get dimension dot r dot height. Here we go. To int. So then here we are going to return our values. Now we have to first define this. So we are going to just highlight on it. That's going to help us create. The value will be, let's say 200 dp. It will be the value 200 dp and also 200 dp. That's our value. So we are going to return these values and display them on our get prism params, whatever it is. Oh come on. Sorry. So standard window. Then we get here the ID. So I'm going to stop here for now so it doesn't become a long video, and then I'm going to start another video right from